We have the big exclusive with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Robin and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris had a chance to talk yesterday, and she and President-elect Joe Biden, they're going to take office just 5 weeks from today.
It's just 5 weeks away, and we sat down at her alma mater, Howard University, just a short distance away from the Capitol, where she will be sworn in on January 20th. Howard University.
Yeah.
Just a short distance, of course, the Capitol, the White House. As a student, could you have imagined being just days away from such a historic moment?
No. And I really feel quite emotional about it.
In just a few short weeks, Kamala Harris will make history when she is sworn in. But following a contentious and extended election season, bringing the country together remains a major challenge. President Trump, what are your thoughts on his reluctance to acknowledge the election?
In this democracy of ours as Americans, which is our democracy is stronger than any one man or woman. It is about the people, and the people spoke.
And as the country reels from a raging pandemic that has led to more than 300,000 American lives lost and caused unemployment to soar, questions remain about how the new administration will work with Congress to bring relief to the American people. The stimulus package.
Yeah.
When you're talking about how to work together and come together and knowing there are people in need, what needs to be done or assured to make sure that it gets passed?
Robin, I'll tell you, I don't understand the hesitation. The people are suffering.
Yeah.
You know, the numbers I saw, 1 in 6 families in America are describing their children as being hungry. The number of small businesses that have had to permanently close or are in fear of permanently closing. The moratoriums on evictions and foreclosures are about to end. The people here in Washington, D.C. have got to stop living in a bubble. The people have a right to expect that their leaders in Congress see them and act in their best interest. You know, I can speak for Joe and me. We were elected to do a job, and we intend to bring everybody along who wants to do the job with us.
He has said a 100-day mask mandate. Other than that, what specifically will this administration do to turn this pandemic around?
Yeah, and the 100 days of the mask, he's urging, like there's no punishment. They don't have to, but he is saying as a leader, please, everybody, work with me here. For the first 100 days, let's everybody just wear a mask and see the outcomes there, because of course the scientists and the public health officials tell us there'll be really great outcomes if everyone does wear a mask when they're in public. It is about getting through the pandemic around making sure that everyone has access to the vaccine and that they take it.
And how do you go about doing that when you know there's so much mistrust, especially in the community of color?
That means about listening to the people. It means about remembering history and why people feel the way they do. And then also reminding folks, this vaccine is just about one thing and one thing only: saving lives.
Leaders on both sides, when it comes to the pandemic, they will put down strict guidelines.
Yeah.
And even your colleague in California, the strict guideline, but yet they don't follow through. What kind of message does that send to the American public?
I think we all have to understand that right now, this is a moment for everyone to sacrifice. And if we're going to get through this together as a country, then we all have to do it.
And while Harris stands on the cusp of history, not only are there new challenges, but a recent reminder that old ones still exist. A controversial op-ed calling for Dr. Jill Biden to drop doctor from her title because her doctorate is in education, not medicine. What was your reaction when you read that, when you heard that?
I was deeply disappointed that in 2020, that kind of approach would be given any legitimacy. Because let's be clear about it. She worked hard. She raised her kids. She went to school. She went to night school. She got degrees. She earned everything she has. That's the American way. That's the American spirit. So when there's anyone who tries to diminish the significance of people who work hard, I think it's just not the American way, frankly.
Now the Vice President-elect and her husband, Doug Emhoff, are both preparing to shatter gender norms. How do you think he's going to put a stamp on? Because he's making history as well.
He is. He is making history. He will be the first second gentleman of the United States of America. And he is very excited about it. And I will tell you, he has this sweatshirt that says "Girl Dad," it's almost in tatters. But he's very proud of being the father of a daughter. You know, he is, and of course proud to be a father of a son. But he's aware that, you know, we still have so much work to do to remind our children of every gender that they should not be confined by the limited perception that some might have of who they are and what they can be. And this is where we are, I think, advancing as a society with each one of these moments. It says to everyone, don't let anyone put you in a box because of your gender. And I think that's important.
What is going to be going through your mind when you take that oath of office?
I'll be thinking about my mother. I feel a very big sense of responsibility. As I said recently, that I will be the first, but I will not be the last. You know, I was raised by a mother who said that to me all the time. Kamala, you may be the first to do many things, make sure you're not the last. And that's how I feel about this moment.
And she's really navigating the weight of responsibility that goes along with being a first.
Just seeing her take that oath is going to be such a huge moment in our history.
Very historic, but yet, George and Michael, she gets beyond that in saying that when I asked her, as other VPs in history, that once they are in office, that they have special initiatives that they want to be a part of and they want to push from the White House. And I asked her, does she have a special initiative of something? And she's saying it's about the American people. She's very focused on that, knowing it's an historic moment, knowing this is a big moment, but just really focused on the job at hand. And I kept pushing about, 70 million people voted for President Trump. 60% of House Republicans pushed with the Supreme Court to get the election overturned. So to say you want to work together, that's one thing, but how do you go about doing it? And was encouraged by Mitch McConnell, what he finally admitted.
Took some time, but it's the right thing to do at this point.
Yeah, it was. And I'll have much more of my conversation with Vice President-elect tonight on Nightline. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.